everybody. Welcome to Still City Fandom Talkin Anime, Episode 2.
Talkin Anime.
Yes.
Talking One Piece.
It's everyone's favorite new show provided by Still City Fandom. Because Ken and Brock are not on it. That's what makes it great.
And they'll never listen to this.
And
so
they
they'll
won't
never
listen
hear
to
us
it,
say
so
that.
they'll never know how dumb they are and how they make the show worse. So, but we're here because even though that last one we did was like, only maybe 10 days ago? Not that long ago.
2 weeks. It took me 15 days to do this arc.
And he's finished another one, ladies and gentlemen. We're here with Justin on his One Piece journey, and he has finished people call it the Arabasta Saga. In the English version, they call it the Arabasta Saga. But yeah, he finished it. 73 episodes. It took me 22 days when I did it. It took you 15 days.
15.
So I needed a whole other week.
Yep.
Mine was even through Christmas. I finished this on Christmas Day. Beginning of December to almost the end, the 4th to the 25th. So awesome. This is a good. I actually feel like this is the first real saga.
Yeah. You get way more into the meat of the story, the crew, and this is an important saga because they pick up some people in this saga.
Pick up some people. There's a lot of mentions of things down the road. It's the first. So it starts off with Reverse Mountain, which is just a couple episodes. I think only 3. That just shows you how they enter the Grand Line, finally get into the Grand Line, and come across a big-ass giant whale named Laboon. And he has been waiting and waiting for his crew to return.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, I can't remember how he stowed away somehow, or the pirates, the crew that had picked him up, like he wasn't supposed to be there. He was a baby whale.
Yes, you see more about Laboon's origin and who he's connected to down the road. They touch on it again.
Okay, well I figure because Luffy promised he would come back.
His crew was waiting for him. They taught him how to fight. He loves fighting. Luffy spars with him a little bit, which is nuts because it's a big ass giant fucking whale.
It's just a giant whale. And when we say giant whale, this would be like if
he's as big as a building, basically.
He's bigger than a building. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. There was people living inside of him.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's completely nuts. But it's good. It just kind of sets the tone for it. They're off. This is really where they're really now off on the journey because they're on the Grand Line.
Yeah.
No more. And the Grand Line works a little differently, which you find out. They use log posts. Did they do log posts in this?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. They do log posts. They explain how it's kind of like the way they wrote it that, why wouldn't you just sail straight through and skip all these islands? So they give them sort of reasoning to go to all these islands. You got to go refill your log post. It points to different islands. So basically, everyone's journey on the Grand Line is different because you may, instead of ending up at Whiskey Peak for your first island, you may end up on a different island. You know, like you can go any way you want in this first half of the Grand Line.
Now, I will say, and maybe I'll go back and watch some of these again where they talk about it a little bit. But the one thing about this log post thing that doesn't make sense is when you're on an island and you're recharging your log post, the way it sounded to me like it was recharging it to point at that island. So how does that help you get to the next island?
I thought it was it recharges and then it points at the next island, like the way you're supposed to go.
And maybe I missed that Like, but I thought, because like
It's
when
just
they were,
a tool for, hey, why are they going the little garden island? Why are they going the drum island? Well, these are
yeah,
the reasons. This is where the log post tells you to go. The thing I like about the Grand Line is that every island you go to could be in a different season.
yes, yeah, there are spring islands, summer islands, winter islands, and fall islands.
Yeah, you could end up on something different no matter where you're at. So when you're sailing along, they're freezing, then they're hot, like they go in and out. So first thing that happens then, you start to get introduced to well, she's not Princess Vivi at the time. She's Miss Wednesday.
Yes, Miss Wednesday of the Baroque Works.
Yeah, you get a little taste of Baroque Works. You end up on Whiskey Peak. That's where all those assassins are and all that stuff's happening. That's kind of a quick 1, 2, 4 episodes. Not a lot happens. The dumbest thing on this one is when they make Luffy and Zoro fight for no reason.
Yes.
A misunderstanding, and they're too stubborn. They have a dumb one. They kind of get away from that, which I was glad. It is a cool moment to see how badass Zoro is because he takes out all those assassins like they're nothing.
Yeah. I think 100 is what they talked about. 100
Which one
assassins.
of your things was like, these fights are happening so fast I can't even see what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because that's what I remember saying that now. It like when he's going up against people that he just like rips through with no challenge whatsoever, they just black out the screen and put colored lines like his sword slashes.
Yeah.
And so
it's how they represent like these people aren't even in his league.
Yeah.
Because you see later on when he fights somebody better, they show what's happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, they get through all that. Little slow in the beginning, but then you realize that Miss Wednesday is Vivi and her duck. Cairo, whatever. You like the duck.
What did I text you? If the duck dies, I riot.
Yeah. And then you take a sort of a side. You get more of like the Baroque Works is going to be a big deal. How they work. I like their system where you have Mr. whatever number it is, and it goes down to 0. They get tougher and tougher, and then they're always with a day. I mean, they go through so many weird days. Miss Wednesday. There's even Miss Christmas.
Miss Valentine, I believe.
Miss Valentine, Miss Mother's Day. There's Miss All Sunday. You get all the different people.
Yeah.
But they're cool. I like Baroque Works. Little Garden, I think, was next. That one is the Giants.
Yes, which is bizarre, but yes. It was a good arc.
This is your first introduction to Giants.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of different. That's one thing with this world is there's other than like devil fruit users and regular like humans, there are people that like are just big. There's giants. Then there's people that are just really tall. They're like 8 feet tall. They're not a giant.
The fishmen in the East Blue Saga were bigger than normal humans.
Yeah, you have the fishmen. There's a tribe called the Long Leg Tribe. They have these real long legs.
Okay.
Like they're real tall with real long legs. There's a Long Arm Tribe where they have like really long arms and like an extra joint. They have like 4 joints in their arms. Like they don't really explain.
Oh, that's weird.
I know it's hard to wrap your head around. You have to go like look at the picture to see how it works because it's like to your elbow and then in between their elbow and their wrist there's like another one.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it's strange. And they don't even explain what it is. It's just you run across the guy on one of these islands and you're like, why does this guy have these weird fucking arms? Like, and then like this, it's like, oh, that's long arm tribe. There's a lot of different weird people like that. It's a lot more normal than when you're watching Dragon Ball and all of a sudden the cop is a panda and you don't know why. Or there's a cat that's like a lawyer or something, and you're just like, why is there a taxi driver that's a bunny rabbit? Like it's just in the background. No one cares,
Okay.
The
one arc the little 2 episode arc we skipped, the Diary of Kobe and Helmeppo.
Yeah.
I know they're gonna come. It's one of those ones where I was just like, okay, let's get this over with, because they're gonna come back around at some point later. But I
Who
freaking
was Meppo?
Helmeppo. He was the son of that one Marine guy that was a real asshole. He was doing shady stuff, and so he ended up getting arrested by the Marines. He was in, where did he first come in?
I remember him. Is he the blonde dude?
Yeah, he's the Marine guys, the young kid that Luffy met in the very beginning. But they're friends now because they went through that little 2-episode arc together.
Yeah, Kobe. I know Kobe. I couldn't remember Meppo.
It's because it's Helmeppo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Kobe. They come back to a lot every once in a while, and it's years later, and Kobe is like, you'll see how that plays out. But Kobe is friends with Luffy, but like still is like, I gotta capture you kind of thing. We're enemies.
Yep.
So yeah, that's just kind of like his. Do you have that little one in there? I didn't even have that in here. That must have been like a real small filler.
It was literally 2 episodes.
Oh, okay.
Then we had the little garden with the giants,
and that's where you get Mr. 3. You get Baroque Works. You get more in here. I like this one. I like the giant fights. This one was okay. I enjoyed the stories here. This was where Zoro got lost again too, swimming and everything.
Yep. Yeah. In this, like, gave you a lot of background for the next arc, Drum Island,
because Nami gets sick.
Yes.
She gets sick. They can't figure out how to cure her, and that's where they go to Drum Island. The thing that cracked me up about Drum Island is how all they would talk about is all the doctors that used to live on this island. How many were there? There's like 14 doctors or something like that. They mentioned it like a lot. They would talk about these doctors.
It was the king had the 20 MDs.
The 20 MDs. That's right. That's what they would say. Drum Island. We had over 20 MDs on this island, and then they were like, then the king took all the MDs and like.
Well, no, because the king killed all the other doctors and only took the 20 best, and he got rid of the rest of them because they wouldn't do what he wanted them to do.
There should be a drinking game for Drum Island to see how many times 20 MDs is mentioned. I bet you.
You would be wasted. You would die.
And the only doctor that's left is this lunatic, Korea.
Yeah, Dr. Korea.
Dr. Korea.
Who's what? 139 years young.
Yes. Now, what was the other crazy doctor's name who raised Chopper? Warple? No. Hiralik.
Yes.
Who has one of the most bizarre scenes ever in this show.
What? Yeah, seriously. What in the fuck?
So, in this episode, you're introduced to Chopper. Chopper is a reindeer who ate the human fruit, which turned him into like a reindeer man. There's constant jokes that Chopper looks like a raccoon or he looks like a little animal. Luffy and Sanji try to kill him and eat him, and
yeah, they try and eat him.
My favorite thing about Chopper is he can't take a compliment.
No, and I got my first real experience of that when he was on I think he was on Arabasta, and he was working with the doctor there. And the doctor was like, wow, I've been practicing medicine for 40 years and don't know all the stuff that you know. You've only been practicing for 6 years. And he's like, shut up!
Yeah, he's like, shut up, you big stupid jerk. Like, and they say he can't take a compliment because, like, Chopper has a really fucked up life.
Yes.
I mean, he's turned into this man. The humans turn on him. They try to kill him. And then
he's a monster.
Then the reindeers think he's weird. They try to kill him. So, like, he can't get any love anywhere. And then this old man Hiralik, who his entire thing is he's trying to bring
The cherry tree.
cherry blossoms back
Cherry
to the
blossoms.
island. And for some reason, in a scene where he's trying to talk Chopper to like, trust me, I will get you through, he takes off all of his fucking clothes and starts screaming like, Chopper, you can trust me or whatever. And the shot that they show is like his shirt or his pants are just hanging off his dick, which for some reason is hard.
Like hard
enough to hold a shirt up.
Hold a shirt up.
I don't know why they do that. It's so the Japanese are really weird at times with some stuff that they do.
So for those of you listening, I actually took a picture of the screen I was watching with my phone and sent it to Don and said, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, and you were like, "Why is his dick hard?" Is what you said. like what's happening here? I don't know what he was proving taking his clothes off, and it's like, okay, well, you're showing him you could trust me, bearing his all to him. I have no weapons. I'm not going to hurt you. I'll never leave you. Why his boner is beyond me. I don't know what's happening.
I really want to go back. Do you know, is that scene in the manga? I'm wondering.
Probably, and it's probably worse.
Probably. I need to find that scene now in the manga. But I would like to go back and talk to the artist for both the anime and the manga and just ask what
I think they were probably like, we got to cover him up somehow, so we'll just make it like his shirt when he took it off just happened to catch his Johnson and hang on it. But like then you realize like that thing's got a boner, or there's no way it's hanging on it. You know, it's cold out. You know, like it's really weird. But Hiralik then dies, and like it's real sad. Chopper just has the worst life ever up until the point where he meets the Straw Hats.
Yeah. Well, and then the worst part about that is Chopper's the one that gives him the medicine that actually was a poison.
Yeah.
So, yeah, poor Chopper.
And he's mean to Chopper, so like Chopper would leave him. Like it's just Chopper has a horrible life. But then he hooks up with them. The one key point is Drum Island is the first time that you get any mention of this Will of D, is what they call it.
Yes.
Because the Doctor, up till this point, you only knew him as Gold Roger. She calls him Gold D Roger.
Yeah.
First time you get the D, and she mentions how Luffy has a D in his name. I wouldn't trust him. Like, she's very suspicious of the people with the Will of D. Like, she knows something. She's been alive for fucking 100 years, so.
Yeah.
You get this point where Luffy having a D in his name, Goldie Roger having a D in his name. I know a lot of people at this point, myself included, thought Goldie Roger has to be his dad. But then I'm like, it's not the same name. Luffy's Monkey D. He's not Goldie. But, you know, why do they have the D? But then you start meeting other people that have the D. Because in the Arabasta Kingdom, you meet Porcus D. Ace, who's Luffy's brother.
Yes.
So you're getting hints of lots of D's going on, a lot of D's flying around there. So they get off this island. I like this arc. I thought it was good. The violent bunnies were kind of funny that Luffy had to fight, and they help him.
Yeah, because he saved the one that was buried in the avalanche.
Yeah, and Warple was like a good stupid villain for them to beat up, and it's good. Chopper's with them. Why his name is Tony Chopper, I have no idea where that comes from, because they never call him that anymore. You know, every once in a while it's on his wanted poster, I think.
And who? Vivi called him Tony.
Yes.
Vivi called him Tony. She didn't call him Chopper.
Yeah, Tony Chopper is a weird name, but it's just Chopper. You get to see how he can transform. Different forms.
And then he shows he's got his 7-level transformation.
Yeah, he has his rumble balls, which turn him into different transformations. So he's not only a key member being a doctor, but he can fight too.
Yeah, he can hold his own.
So then finally we get to Alabasta. Now some people will say Arabasta. I mean, it's pronounced that way in manga and Japanese, but in the English translation they say Alabasta the entire time. This one's cool. I really like when they get here. I like everything setting up this story about this kingdom. Crocodile, who gets revealed to be Mr. Zero, the head of Baroque Works, how
Yeah.
he has all these people convinced that he's Sir Crocodile and he's a hero and everyone loves him, but really this city is just completely turned upside down between the rebels and the kings, and they're all being manipulated by our boy Crocodile. And his this is the first Seven Warlord of the Sea. Well,
Yes.
Mihawk we saw before, but this is the first one that Luffy goes up against.
Yeah.
We talked earlier. You get to see Ace.
Yeah, you meet Ace. Right now, I think Ace is probably my favorite of who we've met so far outside of the crew.
Ace is super cool.
I like him a lot.
The way everything he does is cool. The way he fights, the way he uses his power, his little ski boat that's powered by his fire, like he's good. So you find out Ace's story is that Ace is the second in command captain to the Whitebeard Pirates.
Yes.
Do they show you Whitebeard at all in this yet?
No, you do not get
Okay.
to see him. They just he talks about him, which is funny. The whole thing for his story is what he's doing there. What his mission is right now is he's chasing after Blackbeard the pirate because he killed one of his fellow crew members and then escaped the ship. So I just think it's funny that probably one of the most real life pirate names ever, Blackbeard the pirate, was just a crew member under Whitebeard the pirate in this story.
Stick around for Blackbeard. So Blackbeard there are a lot of relations in his real name and story to the real Blackbeard.
Oh, okay.
Like Oda, who wrote this, used a lot of Blackbeard stories to model this Blackbeard. He doesn't have the same name, but he's got close to it when you hear his real name. He has a lot of, because they haven't said his real name yet, right? They just called him Blackbeard.
Yes.
And you don't really know why he murdered one of the Whitebeard pirates. All you know is that he was on Ace's crew.
Yeah.
So there's a lot with Blackbeard.
Okay.
It gets crazy. Blackbeard is really good. Really, really good.
Cool.
You will see him in this next saga.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Not in any kind of way bad yet. You'll just kind of, him and Luffy they just kind of bump into each other and don't really know who each other are. It's pretty amusing.
Okay.
But
you mean in Sky Island, you mean?
Yeah, they meet in Jaya.
Okay. Oh, so like the next arc that I'm getting ready to watch.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
You meet some key people there. But yeah, this Ace's journey for Blackbeard is like a side story that's happening throughout the next couple of arcs, and it's good. I mean, Ace is just really good. Like his coolness, like everyone on the crew is just impressed by him. They're like, "Oh, that's Luffy's brother." Like, "Oh, he's really cool."
How did we get the doofus and not the?
Yeah, they're like the way Sanji and Zoro are like, why do we have Luffy? We don't have this guy, And for a guy that's as cool as Ace to get another pirate's logo tattooed on you, that's how you know how fucking awesome Whitebeard is. Like for Ace not to have his own crew and like be doing what he does, to be solely dedicated to tattoo it on your back and be like, I'm second commander Whitebeard Pirates, like that's how friggin' badass Whitebeard is.
Okay.
I can't wait for you to meet Whitebeard. He is really, really great.
Okay. How long do I have? Is that like several? Is that like a couple sagas
I don't remember
away?
where it is, but there's a 1 or 2 episode filler where you just casually see Whitebeard and another guy you've met already just having a conversation and hanging out, showing off how strong they are. I won't tell you who it is, but it's somebody that you've come across, and they just all of a sudden they're just interacting for a couple episodes talking, and you're like, what's going on here? You're like, oh, these guys are, can't wait to see more of them. Okay. And then you see a lot more of Whitebeard in the Summit War is when you finally get, that's Summit War is where you finally get Ace, Whitebeard, all these payoffs, Blackbeard. They really get high. It gets It's hot because, as you can tell, it's a gigantic war arc, Summit War, involving all these pirates and stuff. So it's pretty intense. It's really, really good.
Oh, yeah, there's Summit War. Wow.
Yeah, be careful. Don't look too.
No,
high.
I'm looking at.
Oh, you're looking at my notes. My notes.
It's the notes. Yeah. So I'm on Sky Island. Next is Water 7, then Thriller Bark, then Summit War.
Summit War is the last of the first part of the Grand Line.
Okay.
Everything after Summit War is the time skip and its all new world.
Oh, so the time skip doesn't come along until like 500.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Summit War and all this. This is all in this first strip. This is like halfway around the world.
Okay.
And then they get to the second part of the Red Line, and that's when you got the 2-year time skip and everything else that happens, and then now you're in the new world. That's what they call that area there, the new world.
Okay, cool.
That's where you start getting into fucking craziness. But so back to Arabasta. You also get the first look at Viva cards in this. Ace gives his Viva card to Luffy.
All I know at this point is Ace gave him a white slip of paper, and Luffy has no idea what it is.
That's a Viva card.
Okay.
All it is if you have your Viva card, I rip a piece of it off, I give it to you. I rip another piece off, I give it to Ken. No matter where I go, your cards that you have in your hand will lead you to me. So if you hold it in your hand, and it'll move that way, and you'll start going left, and it'll just keep pointing that way. Then it'll point this way. It'll take you literally to the other person.
All right. So at this point, Luffy does not know that
because he's an idiot. Yeah.
Well, because Ace didn't tell him. He just was like, "Here, when you get to this next island, come find me."
Yeah.
And Luffy was just like, oh, "Okay."
Yeah.
Nami sewed it into his hat.
Yes. Yeah. So you get more of that. The end of this, you find out about poneglyphs.
Yes.
Which Nico Robin's able to read.
Yeah, the ancient language. Well, yeah. So we didn't talk about that. So you have the statue of Nico Robin.
Yes.
And you had talked to me before about how she was like one of your favorite anime characters of all.
I love her. She's my favorite female anime character.
And I didn't know who it was, and come to find out, it's revealed that she is Miss All Sunday, who was Crocodile's second in command.
Yes. And she really wasn't bad. She was there to try to get information. Nico Robin's always looking for information.
Yeah.
She can read poneglyphs. They go into the whole, is there an ancient weapon that Crocodile was trying to get, and all that stuff. This is also Luffy's real first challenge as Crocodile.
Yeah, it takes him three separate fights to finally beat Crocodile.
This is the new format for Luffy, where he's going to meet somebody, not know how to deal with it, get handed, have to adapt, learn, try it again, escape. But this one, I mean, he basically gets killed until Robin saves him.
Yeah, he
would have died.
Well, actually, the first fight, if Pell hadn't showed up, he'd have died.
Yeah, he would have died. Yeah. So I like how he learns though. Like I like that he figures out he can't touch Crocodile unless his hands are wet.
Which is a little weird, but we'll go with it. They establish it in the story. That's fine.
Yeah, because you're thinking like, all right, it's just wet for sand. Like, why would it still hurt? Like, isn't he just wet sand? Which is heavier. But like, yeah, he can take damage then and all that. It changes his whole dynamic.
Yeah.
Eventually, he's beating with bloody hands at the end.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's kind of, and this entire saga, I thought to myself, like, why didn't Ace stay around to handle Crocodile? Because he would have burned the fuck out of that sand. He would have
It turned him to glass or some
yeah,
shit.
he would have turned his ass to glass. Like he should have been. I would have been like, Ace, just stick around, help me fight Crocodile.
Yeah.
He's like, you got it, brother. You probably figure out that Ace and Luffy at this point are brothers, but not maybe blood brothers because they don't have the
Well,
same name.
so this is where I created a little bit of a spoiler for myself.
Yes.
I won't say out loud because if we have some other people who are just coming on board, I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went out. After the first episode where Ace showed up, I thought the first thing I thought in my head was he's some relation to Luffy. It's that obvious when you see.
Well, he has the same kind of hat on and everything.
Yeah, and they have similar body types, long, lanky, and the laid back kind of goofy attitude. I'm like, this is some relation to Luffy. They have to be. So I did a quick Google search, Portuguese Ace, Fire Fist Ace, and like, you know how sometimes the little preview Google thing, it'll give you a little paragraph. The first sentence of the paragraph completely spoiled Ace for me.
It didn't tell you anything else that he does in the future, did it?
No, but it told me who his parents were.
Okay.
Who another character that I know is coming that you said just hold on.
Yes.
And that he and Luffy were not biological brothers.
Yes.
I believe.
Yes. So you will get a lot more of. You'll reach a point. I don't know when it happens. I can't tell you like when it happens because it's kind of spoilerish. But they go back into an almost 20 episode arc of their childhood.
Okay.
Explaining how it all works. Explaining that it's right after Luffy gets the straw hat from Shanks, and he's like a little kid, and Shanks leaves, gives him the hat. That's when he's kind of like with his people who raised him, and it's really good. Like, a lot of people don't like it. I liked it because you got to see how much Ace and Luffy hated each other because like Ace was like so annoyed by him. Then you get to see them grow.
Okay.
And that's kind of, and then you see like Ace wearing a hat that almost looks like a straw hat because like, it's his bro. And they have such a great relationship, like the way they are together. Like Ace finds Luffy so amusing, so entertaining. Even when he's doing idiotic stuff, he's just kind of like, oh, there's my kid brother again. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, like just being crazy, doing stupid stuff, But he's really good. You'll enjoy his stuff. Is this where they also talk about Pluton?
Yeah, because that was they thought that might potentially be the weapon.
Yes, okay. Yeah, there's a few more of these down the road, but yeah, okay. Yeah, it gives you more kind of details into, what Robin's up to and all that. But the fight's really good at the end. Of course, he beats Crocodile, which Smoker was sort of proud of him for.
Yeah.
And kind of like, all right, he took down a warlord. Smoker kind of has like I kind of like this kid, but I still want to kick his ass and arrest him,
Yeah, yeah.
And he saves Robin because Robin is like left for dead by Crocodile as well.
Yep. Yeah, so he saves Robin and the King after he beats Crocodile.
Yep. I love, what does he say when he goes back and he's sleeping for like days? What does he say it's the guy that was like on the island that was took after Vivi. His wife looks exactly like him.
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't he say, "Hey lady, that looks like a man," or something like that to her? He has some kind of line.
No, he actually says something about the dude being. He's like, "Oh, cool, you're a cross-dresser."
Yeah, it's really funny. But she's like, "I prepare food." He's like, "I've been asleep for 4 days. I'm gonna eat 4 days worth of food."
and she's like, "I'll take the challenge."
And he eats so much fucking food, like he goes crazy in that after dinner. And then they're just like getting showers and stuff, and they're naked and
that
shit.
one, that scene was a little disturbing as well, because the king is the one that points out his daughter and Nami are just butt ass naked in the next room over.
Yeah, and they're all like freaking out to go watch it. They're just, it's again, watching anime, there's so much weird shit like that. Nami and Vivi are just having this naked hot shower, and the guys are all in everybody's have dicks out and they're just bathing together. It's really strange, but it's anime. It's a good feeling the way it ends, the way they restore Alabasta.
Yeah.
It starts the legends of the Straw Hats, how tough they can be. They took down a warlord. It really does.
Their bounties go way up.
Yeah, their bounties go up. They're all kind of, and the good thing about this arc is, I really enjoy that it's not just about Luffy versus Crocodile. I mean, you get Chopper and Usopp versus two of the other Baroque Works agents that they have to beat. Sanji has to fight Mr. 2. Zoro fights Mr. 1. And they're all involved in their own battles, and they have to get better to get past it.
And I do want to go back to that fight between Zoro and Mr. 1. That was a cool fight. Mr. 1's power is dumb.
Swords on his body.
Well, because it's I guess the way I finally figured out is the blade only pops out when he wants it to.
Yeah.
So because because at one point he was kicking with the front of his leg, which was a blade, and then he was kicking backwards, and the back of his leg was a blade.
Everything's a blade. Yeah. He's a human blade.
So basically, but he was made of steel. The whole thing, he was made of steel, and that was why he thought he was invincible.
And then Zoro figures out how to cut steel.
Yeah, he goes,
elevates himself mid-fight on well, then I need to be stronger. I need to figure out how to slice steel.
Which is totally a Goku thing that I've noticed on TikTok recently. That he starts doing shit. Yeah, he just starts doing shit mid-fight, and he's like, I'm not powerful enough.
Yeah. Well, Luffy kind of starts doing it too. It's a big anime thing. It's a Toei animation thing also, is figuring out a way how to make yourself stronger. That's what makes you a great fighter.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are all good. I like that everyone gets a fight, and it's all an all-out fight for all of them.
Even Nami gets a fight against I can't remember who she was. She was the spiky chick.
Yeah. She takes it down with that weapon that Usopp makes her that doesn't work at all at first.
So stupid.
Now that weapon now is so fucking badass.
I hope so, because right now it's fucking dumb.
She does stuff. She fights a lot of people with that, and it gets better.
Well, and the thing is the way I look at it is, she did things with that weapon that Usopp didn't expect to get done.
Yeah.
She figures out how to use the aspects of it in useful ways, where Usopp, I think, was just trying to make party tricks.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was really good. All that is really entertaining. You did find out that Nico Robbins just invites herself on the ship with them.
Well, she stows away, and then they're like, yeah, all right, that's cool.
She's just kind of sitting there drinking tea, hanging out, and they're like,
yeah. And
she's like, yeah, I'm here, and of course Sanji's fine with it.
Oh, yeah, Sanji's okay with it right away. Nami, all it took Nami was that she gave her the jewels that she'd stolen from Crocodile, and then Nami was good
great.
with it.
Yeah.
Oh, my sister! Luffy was good with it right away.
Luffy trusts everyone.
Yeah, he does. He's an idiot. Zoro, I can't tell. So I'm a few episodes into the next arc, or the next saga, and I can't tell if Zoro is still skeptical or if he's on Team Robin now. It's hard to tell.
He's a little skeptical. He's skeptical.
Okay.
It takes Skypiea really brings them together, but the one after that really brings them together.
Okay.
There's a little bit of is Nico Robin going to stab us in the back kind of thing for a while here, and Zoro's a little, but then, yeah, when you get to Water 7 and all that, it's great. She's a great member of the crew.
She's certainly powerful.
Oh yeah, the flower.
which is just the fact that she can. So we'll talk about that. That she just makes arms and hands grow out of pretty much anything.
Mm.
That's weird.
Wait till later on how much more she can do with it. Like she really goes all out with it. It's pretty crazy. Snapping people's necks.
Yeah, she hasn't done any of that yet. She choked out some people.
Chokes out some people. She had that whole like Navy platoon all like subdued.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good. Alabasta was good. I really enjoyed it. It went really well. And then you're kind of off to Sky Island. You got some stuff going on there, so you'll probably be another couple weeks on this one, I'd imagine.
This one's 69 episodes, so we'll see what happens.
Shorter than Alabasta.
Yes, yeah. Now the one thing I will say about the Arabasta arc, it was 38 episodes, just that one arc. And then if you count the post Arabasta arc, it's 42 episodes.
Okay.
And there were some things I thought that they did a little, they went a little long on a few things. Yeah, I think there's a few things in this arc that they could have consolidated a little bit and gotten rid of a few things. But yeah, other than that, I did enjoy it. I thought it was, again, this show is really well done. As weird as some of the shit is, the writing is good. It's classic animation. I enjoy it. I'm having a good time watching it.
Yeah, it's fun. And it's fun I like the way it's set up with new journeys. I like the downtime stuff. After you get through that war with Crocodile and that fighting and all that, and everyone's bloody, I like that they're goofing around, eating some dinner, taking some showers, having a good time. It's nice to see them happy for a little bit.
Yeah.
Before you're going to like fuck them all up again, So it's good. Yeah, so that was a good one. We'll look forward to your next one here, and we'll talk again then. Hope you're enjoying Talking Anime with Justin and Dawn, and we'll see you in the next saga.
Later.